Hey everyone, so I pulled out an older Lawn Fawn stamp today, and the reason that I thought it would be fun to revisit this one is that they've recently released the matching dies that go with it. So I think this stamp set actually came out about 2 years ago. It's called On the Mend, and it's so adorable. I love this turtle, it's so cute, and the cute little Band-Aid and the cute little Kleenex box. They're so adorable. Anyhow, so I thought we'd just make a quick little card using these fun stamps and the coordinating dies. So I'm just going to grab a piece of white cardstock and I'm going to grab some VersaFine ink. Normally when you're coloring, this isn't the best choice of ink to use, but I'm going to go ahead and hit it with a heat tool at the end so that it won't be a problem if I color. Another thing you could do is emboss it, and then also when you're coloring with like distress markers, for example, things won't bleed. So let's stamp out our cute little turtle here. He's so cute. Oops, looks like we got him a little bit inky. Let me check my stamp here. Looks like I've got ink where I don't want it to be. So we're going to stamp him again. Make sure he's good and clean. There we go. Much better. Nice and clean. I don't know if you can see that. I might be a little far away. But my first one had a little bit of ickiness inside my stamp. Let me just zoom in. Feels like we're kind of far here. So there's the cute little turtle, and I'm also going to go ahead and stamp out this cute little Kleenex box. And I'm going to paper piece this one for fun. So we'll stamp him on, and while I've got him in my hands, wipe him off real quick. I'm going to put a little piece of tape over that smiley face, because I really don't want the smiley face to be on this little guy, and I'll explain why. There's a lot of smiley faces on everything, so this way I can selectively choose where I'm sorry, I was out of the shot. I put a little piece of tape covering the smile so that I can stamp him on some patterned cardstock and we won't get the smile in the picture. So I'm going to go ahead and ink this guy up again and slip off this little piece of tape. Another thing you can do is just use a baby wipe or something there. I find I'm cleaner this way. And then we'll go ahead and stamp this onto some patterned paper. There we go. And then you can see the smile's not there. Cleaning off my stamp really quick here. And I'm also going to grab that little soup bowl from the stamp set here and ink this guy up. And I already went ahead and stamped him without a smile, so he's all ready to go. And we're going to set these to the side for a minute. But here's my little soup bowl. And then we're going to go ahead and get started with some coloring. But before we do that, I'm going to quickly grab, I don't know if my head was in the shot, sorry, my heat tool, and just give a little bit of heat to this turtle. The other two will have a minute to dry, but this one I want to make sure it's good and dry before I start using distress markers on it. Okay, it's good. And let's do some coloring, the fun part. So I've just got a plain block here that I'm going to use, and I'm going to grab a couple of distress markers. I have Peacock feathers, scattered straw, what is this one? Vintage photo, and mowed lawn. Those are the colors I'm going to use. Okay, so let's start out with my lightest color, which I'm not going to do any wet with it. I'm just going to quickly do the inside lines here, outlining the little squares on my turtle. And then we can go ahead and do the cute little water bottle on top here. So I'm going to grab my peacock feathers and quickly just put a little on my block here. And then for the top part, I want that to be good and dark, so I'm actually going to go directly to the paper on this one. Whoops. And then some quick little outlining where my areas would be the darkest. Okay, and then I'm just going to grab a regular paintbrush so I have a little bit more control. So I'm going to grab a little bit of water here and tap into that. And just start spreading around all that color. The aqua painters are great, but sometimes I feel like I don't get enough control. And this way I feel like I have just a little bit more control of where things are going. Okay, so there's the cute little turtle water bag. Is that what they're called? Water bottle, anyhow. And let's grab a new color onto our block. I'm gonna grab a little bit of a Mowed lawn. We'll go ahead and color in our little turtle. He's so cute. The great thing about watercolor is it just dries so beautifully. Even if there's like a little blob or something somewhere, it just looks like it's supposed to be that way. I'm going to dry my brush off just a little bit so I can get a little bit more dark to add a little bit of shadow around our little turtle's body here. Okay, oops, almost forgot the little tail. Okay, and then we're going to switch colors one more time. Now I do have the vintage photo marker, but if you don't have that, if you just have the little pads, you can also use one of those and just take it and give it a quick little smush on your block and it'll give you some color. So either one, whatever you happen to have, works just the same. So we'll grab just a little bit of this and go ahead and do the little shapes inside our turtle here. I'm going to start out kind of light and then we'll quickly add a little bit of depth. This is such an easy technique and it gives such beautiful results, which I just love how easy it is to do a quick little watercolor. So there's our cute little turtle. Actually, no, I wanted to add some more depth. To do that, I'm just going to wipe off my paintbrush and grab some ink up here where it wasn't really hit with the water. And then I can just kind of come around the side here and blend in a little bit of warmth. And if it gets too dark, you can just hit it with a little water. Kind of felt like that was a hair darker than I wanted. Just a little bit of playing and you'll totally get the effect that you want. So there's my cute little turtle. Love them. And then and the other two, like I said, I was going to paper piece those. So let me show you really quickly how to cut out one of these shapes and then I'll just pull in what I have already done so that we don't spend a lot of time cutting pieces and such. But so if we were going to cut out this one, he looks just a little bit damp. So I'm actually going to just hit a heat tool to him real fast and dry up some of them before we run them through our Cuttle Bug. There we go. And then to send this through, we're just going to have an A plate, a B plate, our cute little piece that we're going to cut. And we'd also cut these other ones out as well at the same time. But like I said, I've already done those pieces, so let's just grab our little turtle here. Pull this guy in. Wouldn't that be great if they made a magnetic platform for the Cuttle Bug? Get on that, Provocraft. That would be fun. Okay. I wonder how hard it would be just to make one of our B plates magnetic, you know. Okay, get him into place. And I'm looking for my C plate. There it is. And you can send this through. And there's our cute little turtle. Isn't he cute? We'll tighten up just a little bit here. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this card together with the other elements that I've made, just so that we can speed things up. So I decided when I was picking the colors that I wanted to use of my distress inks, I have this fun little, I don't know, what do I want to call this? Little clip-it thing that I made. And I just used the watercolor paper that I color on, and I cut out 2-inch strips, 2-inch wide by the length of the paper. And I used a little tag topper from Stampin' Up, this is what it looks like, to make a quick little reference here, and added a little book clip bookbinder clip or whatever these are called. And that way I was able to look at here and see that this color matches really well to is this Coastal Cabana? No, it's not. Shoot, what's this stuff called? Bermuda Bay. Sorry. It really matches closely. And so this is a great way to have a reference at your hand. Even the Inktense pencils are on this little deal that I made. So I can't think of the name of what you want to call this. Anyhow, so let's put our card together. So I have a regular A2 size card base. I'll list all my measurements below. And a piece of white cardstock to go on top of that. And we'll go ahead and put this on and stamp a quick little sentiment. I always think it's funny when I flip over a piece of paper before I stick it on if it's identical on the other side. I just thought that was funny. Anyhow, so we'll line up our little paper. Here we go. And then I also wanted to do another little strip here. So like I said, I'll put the measurements down below because I can't remember off the top of my head what they are. Uh-oh. I think my ATG gun is having trouble. I have to... Oh, there we go. Okay. And then we'll slip this on. Just like that. A little more ATG. And now I also used the little Band-Aid image in this stamp set. And I just stamped it onto some antique linen cardstock, which is by Tim Holtz. So if you've ever grabbed one of his cardstock packs, he has papers that match the pens. And so after I did that, I just did a quick little, kind of like a whitewash, except for with a vintage photo over the top of it. And then just like we did with the turtle, I grabbed a little bit of the straight ink and did some darkening areas. So I have 3 little Band-Aids that I did. And then I went ahead and folded those. In fact, I'll show you how I folded one of them just so you'll know what I did. So I just pinched. You could certainly use a scoring tool if you want to, but I pinched the 2 sides like that, and then this one I folded up just like that, fold up the other side, and that gave me this cute little shape that I could add to my card just like that. Isn't he so cute? I love the little smile on him. So anyhow, I have 3 little Band-Aids, and then the other pieces that I went ahead and paper pieced, the soup and the little Kleenex box. And in the soup, I just added a little bit of scattered straw so my soup had color. So we'll pull those out. And then our cute little turtle, of course. And I've added pop dots to the back of all of these so that we can pop them up. And then next I wanted to add some little shelves to put on here. So I just grabbed some, I think this is a 1 1/4 by 3, and then 2 1/2, and then 2. So I'd have 3 different levels on my card. I thought it would be cute to make a quick little pennant shape on the end. So you just do that by cutting in the center, joining those 2 sides, just like this, and then you have an easy little pennant. Whoops, missed one of them. There we go. And then I wanted it to actually look like it was sitting on a shelf. So I used some of that vintage photo paper from Tim Holtz and just cut a quick little strip of 1/16 of an inch strip. And so I'm going to flip that over and grab a little 2-way glue pin here and add some adhesive to the back of it. And then we can line this on the bottom, and it'll look more like a place for our little elements to sit. So you're kind of seeing this come together as we go here. And then we can trim off the excess. Easier to do it from the back, I think. A quick little cut. I love this color. Isn't it beautiful? This Bermuda Bay. And so then we've created a little shelf to go here on the bottom. And I already have the top piece. And I went ahead and stamped the little soup steam. So this will end up going like this. Isn't that cute? And that would be up here. And then I have one that I also made for the middle. So before we add those though, let's do a quick little sentiment on the bottom. And I thought I would use the wishing you a speedy recovery since we have that really cute little turtle. I can't find my block, so let's just use this little ruler. It'll do the same thing. So, oops, let's flip it the other way. Sorry, my skinny block is missing, but this is a fun little trick here. I'll just ink it all up. There we go. And put this down here at the bottom. So cute, wishing you a speedy recovery. Okay, so let's put this card together. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. We'll add some adhesive on the back of all of our little strips here, so they're all good to go. Okay, longest one first. Figure about a 1/16 of an inch border on the left side. Place this one, and we'll place our top one, because the middle one we can also just kind of guess. Actually, I don't want it that high. How high do I want it? Maybe closer to a 1/8. So again, we're eyeballing. You could certainly use a ruler if you feel more comfortable. There we go. So our 3 little pennants are in place, and then we can add our little elements. And we have paper piece. This is the cutest stamp set, and I thought it's just so cheerful. So if somebody is sick and you're sending them this fun little card, I just really think it would cheer them up. Our little soup and our cute little turtle. What I like about this card is I think it could be used for anyone. So whether they're a boy or a girl or a man or a woman, because it's harder to make male cards, I think, that this one would be okay, because it's not really feminine yet. I'm going to add a button on here, but I guess you can choose not to do the button. So I've already added some sticky strip on the back of these cute little band-aids, and we'll just pop them into place. Whoops. Just right about there. I love how it looks kind of like it's closed with band-aids. Isn't that fun? Okay, and let's get our last one into place and add our little button at the bottom. And then for fun, I'll show you 2 other colors that I went ahead and made it in. So one more quick little tip. I didn't have any baker's twine that matched my cardstock color here. So one easy way that you can take care of that is to just grab the color that you were using and just grab your marker or your ink pad and put some on your pad, your little block here, just like this. And then just grab a couple little water drops on here to get this good and inky, just like this. And then just take your, whoops, wrong twine. Take some white twine and just roll it. And this is going to take a minute, and you might have to do it more than once, but as you can see, it starts to turn the color that you need it to be. And then when you hit it with the heat tool, it'll be the perfect color. But so this is just a quick little tip. If you don't have the color that you need of twine, you can just kind of make your own. Okay, so here we go. Cute little card. In what is this called? Bermuda Bay. I'm having trouble today. So there's my cute little Bermuda Bay. Let's widen our shot, and we'll show you 2 other quick colors. Kind of a long video today, sorry about that. But I also have one in Melon Mambo and one in Rich Razzleberry. So much fun. Anyhow, I hope you'll give this card a try. Drop by Lawn Fawn and see some of the great new products that they have coming out. Also, just a quick reminder here at the end that through tomorrow, everyone who purchases something from me through my Stampin' Up! Site will receive a card made from me and also a fun little surprise. So if you didn't get a chance to check out my last video, it gives the details. And also just for fun, since you always see my fingers, if you want to see my face, it's at the end of that video, a fun little picture of me and my daughter, Erin. So anyhow, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a fabulous day. Talk to you soon. Bye.